Alright, check it out. This is my first ever KTM 450. I'm not sure what the model is, but I believe it's a dual sport because of the headlight. But you can see it's in pretty decent condition. Some parts on the engine were painted. It looks like the base gasket is sweating pretty good as well, so hopefully that won't be an issue. I picked this thing up for 1,300 bucks. When I got there, it did run, but then the battery died, and it looked like it was overheating because it was leaking a little bit of coolant out of the overflow. So I'm thinking it might have an overheating problem. So the guy was actually selling it for his friend, who said that he was riding it, I think last weekend, and he thought the starter went out because it was making a weird sound. It was making like a clunking sound. He thinks maybe the one-way bearing is bad, so we'll have to look into that as well. The guy said that he did an oil change on it. This one comes with 2 oil filters for the KTMs. You can see right there. Then he also said he changed the hydraulic fluid in the clutch. So he changed this oil in there. It feels pretty good. It's not too hard to pull in. The fork seals are leaking a little bit. He said they're not horrible, but they do leak a little bit. That's something to note. Chain and sprockets look pretty good. Not horrible. I forgot to check underneath the engine for any cracks or anything. Hopefully there's nothing, but it looks like it's leaking a little bit of oil. I don't know where that oil would be coming from. But so far, no cracks in the case or anything, which is good. No JB weld on it. This is all stuff I probably should have checked when I was there. I'm not seeing where that oil is coming from. That's kind of concerning. Maybe from the clutch side? I'm not sure. But this thing is a beast to kick over. Has a lot of compression. Oh, it's not leaking from that weep hole, is it? So this hole in the head, coolant will come out of there if the head gasket's blown. So we don't want coolant coming out of there. But it looks like there's like oil in there or something. Hopefully that's not coolant. But the oil does not look milky. I checked it when I was there, it looked brand new, and then I ran it and then checked it again, and it didn't look milky. So we'll check it now and see if it's milky. I have a feeling the head gasket's blowing on this thing just because of the way it was overheating. We can test it by taking off the radiator cap and starting it up and seeing if it bubbles. If it bubbles and shoots out of the radiator, we know that the head gasket is blown. We can also do a leak down test on it to see if it's blown. We can hook up like 25 pounds of compression directly into the cylinder, and if you hear air coming out of the radiator, you know the head gasket is blown. But yeah, it sounded pretty good. No knocking in the engine when I did start it up. But right now, you can hear, let's see if it, oh, the starter seems to work. That's not good. Now I'm thinking maybe it's the piston getting hot on the cylinder or the crank locking up on this thing. That is not good at all. So this is kill start. This is the start button. I'm not sure if there's an on and off. I don't think there is. But where is the choke on this thing? I'll try to fire this thing up here. Is there a choke? Turn the gas on. He also said you got a new petcock for it. I don't think there is a choke on it. But let's see if it fires up. Also, I want to note this is a 2002. On the VIN, the temp letter is a 2. I'll show you guys the VIN. Maybe one of you guys know what the model is of the bike then. There's the VIN. First couple letters, VBKEX. So I don't know what that means, but maybe one of you guys know. Let's try to start this thing up, see if we can get it to fire. And the battery is dead. So I don't know if it's just a weak battery or what, but it seems to die very quickly. So I guess let's check out the battery situation on this thing. See if we can jump it. Oh, there it is. All right, good. It's just a normal battery, not a lithium. Lithium batteries are really expensive. But it looks like we've got, I don't know why that's grounded to there. That's really weird. Alright, so we've got both of these wires grounded to the fender. And then we've got the negative going to the ground right here. And the positive, which is nice and tight, going to the solenoid, I'm guessing. So let's hook up a battery charger to it and see if it cranks over. Alright, I let this bike sit for literally 5 minutes and it's already leaking gas out a lot out of the carburetor. The guy said he just rebuilt the carburetor, so I don't know what's going on there. But we've got the jumper. Let's see if we can jump her. Nose. Sounds like it's getting stuck on something. That's not good. Leaking gas everywhere. Where is it even leaking from? Leaking out of the cylinder now. Looks like the carburetor's overflowing and getting into a cylinder. So it's, I don't know, flow height is way too high, but it's just dumping right into the cylinder. Just flooding it out. It sounds like the starter is slipping too. It's definitely like a one-way bearing as well. But yeah, that does not sound good at all. It is sounding really, really bad. Let's take out the spark plug, get the gas tank off, take out the spark plug, and see what's going on with this thing. I have a feeling there's just gas in the cylinder and it's just flooding out. Engine's pretty wide out in the open after the gas tank's taken off. Alright, here's the plug. And this wire seems weird too. It's a breather hose. Plug is right in here. There we go. That's kind of hard to get to, actually. For this plug, you need a knuckle to get to it. None of my extenders would fit in there. Should come out now. I don't like KTM very much. A lot of people say they're over-engineered. There's a lot of stuff that you don't really need. They make it too complicated. Plug looks like it was running okay. Ooh, that's not good. I see a piece of metal on the plug. What the heck? Check that out. What is that little thing? That was on the plug. That is a bad sign. Huh. I don't know if that was part of the threads coming out of there or what. Let's see how it is to kick over. See if we've got spark here. We don't have any gas on the engine, so we should be good. Actually, it'll probably turn over now. Oh yeah, we've got spark. All right, take the plug out. Don't want another bike to start on fire here. So we've got spark. Let's do a quick compression test just to see what we're at for compression. And then we might do a valve check. All right, compression tester going in. Hopefully we can get her in here. Have a tight fit. Okay, attach that up here. Alright, where do we want to put that so you guys can see it? Alright, hopefully you guys can see that throttle open. Kick it over a couple times. We're at under 100. The guy said it was 155 when he checked it. That's really low. Huh. That's not good. $90 psi. Huh. Alright, so I don't know if the decompression mechanism's on this thing or what, but yeah, we're not getting a good compression reading on this thing at all. It doesn't look like anything's activated with the decompression release when you do the throttle, so I'm not really sure what's going on. I might try a throttle closed and just see what it does, but I believe the decompression mechanism's up here. Unless that's stuck on or something, I don't think we're getting the right compression reading. Seems very odd to me. Because it did run when I was there. So it would at least, I guess it would only really need 90 to run. So maybe it's just really, really low compression. But I don't know, it seems weird. Seems off to me. We put the plug back in. We're gonna see if it starts up now. Now that this thing isn't flooded out, I cranked it over a couple times without the spark plug in, and now all the gas is cleared out, so let's see if she cranks over and fires up now. Hopefully she does. See if I can kickstart this sucker. All right, we've got the boot on, time to get serious. All right, well this is definitely a no-go. I kicked this thing over like 1,000 times and nothing. It sounds really bad in the top end. So let's first open up the cover right here and see what that flywheel looks like. But so far this bike is kind of a piece of crap. All right, let's see what's going on behind the cover. That's every bolt on that thing, so let's just see. There we go. Obviously the battery's not being charged either when it's running, so I'm guessing the stator's crap on this thing too. Something's not coming out. Come on. I feel like it's stuck in something. That all looks pretty good. No metal chunks or anything yet. That's a good sign. Oh, what is that? I see some metal. What is going on here? Look at the pickup coil. There's like chunks of metal on it. Well, that's not good. That's not good at all. Something came apart. Look at all that metal on there. Great. I mean, it's not a ton, but it is there. I think we should just take out the flywheel right away. Is the timing chain tight in there? Timing chain is fairly tight. I believe this is 17 millimeter. Came right off. Do I have a puller for it? That's the question. Alright, of course I didn't have a puller for it. KTM pullers are a little bit smaller than the Yamahas, so I didn't have one for KTM, but if you look in there, that Woodruff key is still in place, and it looks good. So we'll have to check timing to confirm, but I think the Woodruff key is fine. Alright, what we're going to do next is drain out the oil and just see if there's any metal chunks in there. That'll kind of tell us what's going on as well. So the drain bolt for this should be behind here, right there, that red thing. And there's another one up there. And there's one on the side, right there. So we gotta get all these out of there. Oil looks pretty good actually. Coming out of there. It's getting everywhere though. So that's good. I think the bottom end is gonna be fine. The top end should be fine. Might just be the starter and the carb, honestly, causing issues. I think the carburetor was flooding everything out. let that drain out, and then we'll get the next plug out. It's kind of a pain that they put the starter gear over here on this. But in order to get this cover off, we've got to take the kick lever off, the brake lever we have to take off, and then just a bunch of bolts around here. All right, 6mm Allen for the kickstart. Well, that was really not tight on there at all. Out here. We might have to take the whole mechanism off of there. There's one behind there. There's a thin metal plate too for the spring holder. Don't want that to fall into the oil here. Alright, now this cover should come off of here. It's gonna be messy. I know that. It's coming, I can hear it. Let that oil drain out a little bit. Alright, we got the lever off. Let's see if this can come off now. Alright, that wasn't so bad. I don't think anything broken on the cover, so that's good. Alright, let's see what's going on in here. Let's see what happens when you hit the start button. Oh, that's not good. That bearing. That gear is coming out of there. But no metal shavings or anything. I wonder if it's just the one-way bearing. We'll have to take off the clutch and inspect the one-way bearing. Alright, clutch coming off of here. I don't think I've ever dug into a KTM before, so this is all new to me. Learning as we go. Alright. Plate should come off of here. There's a rod. Looks like there's just a circlip holding on the clutch. Alright, see if we can get this guy off. Alright, that's off there. I think the whole thing can come off now. Maybe. Maybe not. Take the clutch plates off. Ooh, something fell. Those two pins fell out of there. Man, they made this really complicated. These two go right here, like that. Probably all gonna fall when I take this thing off. The whole thing can come off of here. Apparently not. How come? There we go. There's the washer here. That gear spins this gear. Let's take this gear out of here. That one's kind of looking weird. So our one-way bearing must be right here. Yeah, that's the one-way bearing right there. So can it spin the other way? Doesn't look like it. It is. Huh. Doesn't look like the one-way bearing's bad. But sometimes it's hard to tell. Just by hand. Because usually, see how it spins one way? And it can't spin that way. So yeah, that feels fine to me. Very interesting. Let's see if it makes any noise when I hit the start button here. Sounds pretty good. I'm wondering if this gear was out of place right here. It seemed like it was kind of iffy in there. So I put that back in with the bearing in. It seemed like the bearing was coming out. Alright, let's see what happens when I connect the spark plug in. Let's just see if it rotates. Alright, spark plug is in, giving it some resistance now. So we're going to hit the start button and see if that one-way bearing acts up. Just kind of hold this one in place. Alright, so I'm pretty sure the noise is the one-way bearing. I'm not really sure what other noise it could be. Definitely sounds like it's either the starter or the one-way bearing. But you can see the starter gears are not worn out at all. And nothing's really worn out, so it's gotta be the one-way bearing. Just has to be. So we'll order up a one-way bearing. In the meantime, I want to take apart this carburetor and just see what's going on with that. And then I might put everything back together and try to start this thing up. Alright, let's see what's going on with the carburetor. The guy that sold me this bike said that he rebuilt the carburetor on it. That's interesting. There's little O-rings around the screws. Probably trying to prevent gas from pouring out of it. That's not the right way to do it. Yeah, it was definitely leaking gas. You probably figured that's what fixed it. But yeah, that'll just make it go up higher and pour out of up here, and that's what it was doing. So we'll see what was going on with it. I kind of have a feeling it was probably the O-ring underneath here. See, get the float out of here. Oh man, it was on there. Let's see, it's either the float has a hole in it, or there's gunk between the needle and the seat, or the gasket on the seat is failing. The needle is still rubbery. That looks good. I hear something. I hear something in there. I don't know if like a little piece of plastic came off, or is that gas in there? Hard to tell. I think it's just the float. We'll inspect that a little bit further. But let's take out the seat. Looks good. No damage to the seat causing problems. It's gotta be the seal in here. Let's see. Most likely that O-ring. It's usually what it is. Just pull this out. Oh yeah, that's definitely it. Look how flat that is. It's all hardened up and flat. Did you see how easy that pulled out of there? That's definitely the culprit right there. It's all, yeah, it's so brittle. Look at that. Look how hardened that is. It's all cracking and... Alright, so that was the issue of the leaky carb. So it's overflowing and then pouring out of here into the engine. So it's flooding it. And that's probably why it wasn't starting super easily. Alright, we got the carb all cleaned out here. Let's see if it leaks anymore here. Probably will. But that seal, changing out that seal should help a lot. I don't think it should overflow now. We will see right away if it will. I'm not seeing anything. I think we're good. Turn that off for now. Then we'll attempt to start this thing again. We got everything back on, so let's see if she fires up. She fired right up. That sounded really good, actually. I don't have much oil in it, so I didn't want to run it too long, but oh yeah, she started right up. That sounded really good. Alright, so what we're going to do next is I think we're going to order up a one-way bearing. I think that's what that noise was. I didn't hear it just now, so maybe it was that little gear in there that was out of place. But we'll order up a one-way bearing just in case we have the problem. And then we're going to put some sealer on the gasket, seal up the clutch cover, add some more oil, and see what this thing sounds like. We'll let it idle for a long time then. But it looks like we fixed that carb issue. I think that was the main problem. Pretty sure this thing takes about a quart of oil. So we'll dump that in and then check the window. Alright, you can see it in the window right there. And you tip over the bike, it should be level. Perfect. Yep. Looking good. Alright, let's fire this thing up and let it idle for a bit. I think it might have an overheating problem. That could have been because of the carburetor issue we just fixed. No smoking yet. That's good. so good so far. See if she fires right back up. Sounds good. There's a little clicking there at the end. I think that's the one-way bearing going. So we'll definitely order up one of those. You can hear it when it stops, it clicks. And that's the one-way bearing going and then coming back, and it makes that clicking sound. But it starts right back up. Alright, the bike has been starting and running and idling perfectly. I started it up probably 20 more times and it's been perfect. So what we're going to do is order up the new one-way bearing. I think that's what's making that sound when you turn off the bike and it kind of clicks like it's rotating back. And then we're putting a charger on the battery right now because the battery's dead. You can see it's red, it's not blinking red, so that should charge up and be fine. And then I want to get some new gaskets for the clutch side over here, the cover, and then the stator cover. And then this bike should be pretty much good to go. And then we'll test drive it. And actually I kind of want to see if the lights work too. Oh, it looks like that was going to here. So I wonder if that would work if we hook those up. I'll have to test that next video. But anyway guys, stay tuned for the first ride on the KTM 450. I've never ridden one of these, so it should be interesting. And we'll see if any more problems come up during the first ride. Anyway guys, thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing. Stay tuned for next video, and until next time, we are out.